Hey there again. For this Wherigo tutorial, I was asked to make kind of a zombie, you gotta walk the line, and if you don't walk the line, you step into a dead zone, and the dead zone kills the character. Um, I've been tossing around this idea for a little bit about how to do this. Um, there's some people who will be very upset when somebody does something like this unless you give them a lot of room, because you just know the GPS accuracy um, is very highly variable. So if you're doing something like this, I suggest that you do it in a very wide open area. Um, if that's the case and that's your mission, then which I am all for. I think it's fun to do where it goes such as this to create challenges and things like that, and then let the user find their way through it and learn how to beat the game. More so than just explaining it all to a person and making them not really have to think about what they're doing. So with that being said, this is kind of what I've understood from the question, and this is how I would do it. So first off, here we got our layout here. Now we've got a starting zone here, which you can see, and this is a dead zone, this gray mass here, and this is another dead zone here, and this is our helicopter pad area that we're going to finish in to. Alright, so right now everything is deactivated except for the starting location. Now once the user gets into this starting location, it says hurry up, get to the chopper. We click OK. Then you can see this area goes red. The red here means that it is active, but it's not visible to the user. So you can see here all four zones are active, but there's only two locations being seen. So the user has no idea where this zone really is or this other zone is. So as our character migrates down the path and everything's fine, it's just good. They get to the end location. Now if they have to go back or anything like that, and say they do cross into this area, boom, you stepped into the dead zone. Now at that point there, I've disabled the two main zones. And I've done that because in some cases Android um, seems to allow you to continue to do this. I've tried to make people dead and just save and close, and the Android app seems to just allow the character just to continue to play. So I basically usually stop the whole game by closing out all the opportunity to do anything else. And I do other things to prevent them from like trying to save a game and different things like that too. So you can see here right now we have nowhere to go or anything like that. Now whether or not you disable the dead zones is up to you, because in this case here, if so and so comes out and goes into another one, it should just basically say that you stepped into the dead zone again. It will just do the exact same thing again, and it depends on if you really want that. But you obviously you can make up whatever other message you want. Alright, let's see how the software, the logic rolls here. Alright, so got the dead zone here, and what I've done is I've obviously created 4 different zones, and you can see here on dead zone 1 the display button is unchecked, it's not active, and we have it on a handle. And then it's the same way for the dead zone 2. The helicopter pad, it just has really nothing to it right now, just the defined zone, and that it's not active, but it is displayed. The starting zone, we are starting displayed and active. Now when we enter this zone is when I say hurry, get to the chopper. I set the dead zone active, the helicopter active, and the dead zone 2 active. Alright, so now if we go back to the dead zones, we click on these here, and if we're in handle, we do a message, and then in the on click something, I do a function call. Now I've done function calls because in a lot of different cases and these type of apps, I find that there's many ways you're going to be able to die, and it's best just to do a massive zone closeout on everything. And the easiest way to do that without making a lot of logic long is just to do a function call, which gives you a block of logic that you can call up many times throughout your game. So that being said, is down here we got in the bottom left hand corner we got this functions, and I created one called dead, and really it's, you can just describe it however you want and put name whatever you want. And on handle we just give us a series of logic. So starting location, we active, we turn false. The helicopter area, we turn false. And then I set a dead variable here to 1, and then I save the game. This prevents, in this case here, and this prevents a person from who has saved the game just to going back and open up that previous game again to start over. Now, you may choose to let them save the game. That is completely up to whoever's programming. I typically save the game and basically make it to where they will have to start over again. So the reason why I set this dead variable is for another reason. So if you go back to your main cartridge spot here, you have an on resume. Now, once you've saved the game, you then have to basically prevent, or explain to them why not. So I put an if statement. If dead is not equal to 1 or equal to 0, then it just saves and closes the games. But you can basically here put a message in that says, you've already passed away, you got to start a new game completely over, and then usually I save and close the game again. That way they don't really get to stay in the game. Now again, Androids seem to allow you just to skip around that, but again, all your zones are closed, and there's no place for them to continue on. So that concludes the tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, then leave them below, and hopefully you enjoy this, and hopefully you keep asking.